What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video where we're going to take a first look at the new Knarr from Jackson Kayak.
Fish on!
That's a toad, brother. Golly! One of the crazy things about this industry is that everybody knows everybody. So a lot of you guys probably recognize this dude here from past videos, Mr. Richard Penny. Richard is a regional rep for Jackson Kayak. Would that be the right title? Regional rep?
Yeah.
Okay. Regional rep, retired Master Chief in the Navy, you know, former tournament director slash sounding board for all things KBF, and has now found his rightful place in the community. But the crazy thing about this community is there's a lot of like friction on the outside between brands amongst like users. But what people don't realize is that all of the actual people that work in the industry are all really good friends, split hotel rooms, go to dinner together, and that kind of thing. So I called Jameson Redding and said, hey dude, when am I going to be able to get my hands on one of the Jacksons for one of the Jackson Knarrs for kind of one of those first look type deals? And he's like, well dude, I don't have one available because I got to go film. And then I get a text like 30 minutes later. Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna be at Guntersville with Junior, old Jake over there. Look at this dude right here. Last time he was on the video, he was about this tall, had no facial hair. Now he looks like, look, he literally looks like he just got out of like San Quentin after a hard tour. So anyway, good luck in the tournament, man. So guys, what we're gonna do is I've just got a quick glance at the boat. Richard started telling me a little bit about it, and I was like, actually, hold up. Be better if we do this on video. So what I'm going to do is do a first look where I ask the questions, he gives the answers. I'm going to have the same questions a lot of you would have, and we're just going to take a first look at the new Jackson Knarr, and then I'm going to try to twist his arm to get it out on the water and do the on the water portion of it, like I've been telling you guys I'm going to do with as many kayaks as I can this year. So Richard, I'm going to flip the camera around, let you know, kind of run with this thing.
Let's go.
If I got a question, I'll ask it. And if you guys have questions, post them up in the comment section, and then I'll twist these guys' arms to come get in here and answer questions that we may not answer during the video. But as thorough as this knucklehead is, I'm pretty sure we're going to get all your questions answered. So here we go. Richard, so the floor is yours, my friend. How about just, you know, starting at the bow and going all the way to the stern, and kind of just honestly, man, just give us a run through like you were teaching a dealer about the boat, you know, kind of that tech rep approach like you guys do. And if I have any glaring questions that I think these guys might ask that you're not answering, I'll jump in. But for the most part, I'm just going to let you run with it, bro.
Sounds like a winner. Well, you know, some of you may or may not have seen Jameson's full walkthrough video, but we're going to do a quick one as well. You know, molded in grab handle makes it much easier to grab the boat, drag the boat around as you need to. And it's also one less thing to break. If you've had any of those handles that you pop off before, they get shredded over time, that's gone away. We've also got this flat space here. What this is for is so you can mount a trolling motor. Look, let's be honest, that's where things are going. You know, it's either running a motor, a Torpedo, or similar on the back, or a trolling motor up front, whether it's a Minn Kota or a motor guide. So we decided to go, let's go ahead and get this in there. We have tested it. We just straight mounted a quick release puck on here and threw the motor on, handled it well. The boat is extremely fast with the trolling motor on the front, but this is one of those features that we just knew we had to have and got ready for it. Now with that, we're going to skip real quick because I don't want to lose sight of it. If you're putting a motor on the front, where do you want to compensate that weight for? You want it on the back. So real quick, we're going to run back here. I don't want to skip out on this. That's where that battery's going to go. So you can get that 100 amp hour Dakota lithium battery in this slot right here without a problem. Run those wires all the way back, you know, quick disconnects on it, and you're good to go.
I mean, since we're already here, do you want to talk about the rudder system setup?
So rudder system, Spectra running the full length of the hull. You got controls on both sides. It's intuitive, so you want to turn right, turn the handle to the right. You want to turn left, turn the handle to the left. It's common sense. That whole sliding back and forth thing, gone. Spectra cable stuff, I mean, you can break it if it's what you intend to do, but outside of that, you're not going to have to deal with it. The other one too is we've just got tensioners. We didn't go over the top with some, you know, ridiculously complicated system. There is, you know, kayaks, they have shrinkage when they get cold. if you know what I mean. So some of you may understand that. So when you have hull shrinkage, you may want to tighten these cables up. As the hull warms up, it's going to expand a little bit. These can come off, but use them at will. There's these two in the back, and there's one in the front hatch as well.
Cool.
Quick disconnect for the rudder right here, but easy adjustment. You don't have to dig around in the hull to do it. You can do it all right here. Just open the back hatch up.
Now, just out of curiosity, what are these risers here for, since you have the internal steering?
These risers are here so you can do foot control steering for your motor.
Okay.
A novel thought.
So before we go back to the front, I do
Yep.
want to ask this question, because a lot of people are starting to ask this question. You said the bow mount's where it's going, and then you also mentioned the torpedo. A big thing that I see where it's going, and people keep pushing me on it, especially as the KBF guy, is
I'm hoping is this the two motor question?
The back motor and front motor. Well, one of the big holdups has been, can the boat handle it, and has the manufacturer tested it? So I'm just going to put you on the spot. Have you guys tested a stern mount and bow mount simultaneously
At the same time?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean,
Okay.
I've not done it. We did the trolling motor on the front. We did have the power pole on the back at the same time with the 100 amp hour battery back here. Pretty much a full tournament load if you're running a trolling motor, and the boat sat perfectly level in the water and scooted. I fully intend on it as soon as my 1103 shows up in the mail. Whenever that happens, I will be putting the 1103 on here as well as the trolling motor to go ahead and test that, but that is the next goal. And so you'll see that coming down the road. Do I think the hull will handle it? Absolutely.
I mean, it looks huge, so it looks like it should be
13 feet 9 inches. Weight capacity on it's 475 pounds as advertised. We all know everybody does their weight capacities different. But at Jackson, we just said, okay, 475 with our calculations, that's where we think it's at. And you can, manipulate that as needed. You want to add a whole bunch of weight, get in there and see how much it'll take.
It's mostly about distribution.
Correct.
More than anything.
And
all
that's
right, let's
why
go back
you
up to
got
the
those
front
things
and pick it back up where we left off.
Easy
right there.
So one of the things you're also going to see is we've eliminated bungee on this boat, with a few little minor exceptions like rod retention. But the reason is it's just one more thing to get hung up on. So we've got actually tie down points here. So if let's just say you wanted to put a fish bag or something up front, you could strap that down the right way instead of having the bungee up here. Big front hatch as well. You can see here we got the rod tubes for rod protection. We'll go over those here in a second. And then further up in here, Chad, you can get that shot. There's an additional tensioner piece if you want to grab that front Spectra and tension, get that tightened up. We do have a
So I noticed when you did that, there was a piece of foam in here. Right. So does that foam come out pretty easy for doing the bow mount like you were talking about?
yes.
Okay, cool.
It comes out that easy.
That would have been the #1 question.
That easy.
So cool, perfect. Pops out real easy.
Yeah.
And then you got back access to put your
Correct.
backing plate
Backing
or oversized
plate,
washers,
right.
whatever you want. Okay, cool.
Now I will tell you, I did not put a backing plate on it when I did it, but if I were going to do it for a long-term install, that was on a pre-production model, I would be putting a black backing plate on it just for safety.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's plastic.
Yeah.
Why not stiffen it? Cool.
Exactly.
All right, let's keep on working back.
You'll also notice right here, we've got 3 rod tubes on each side. So great for transport. Some people like having the rods in the boat that way and keeping it that way, and they don't like having rods standing up in the back. So we've added that feature. It was a big team request to have, and also to push the gunnels out. I mean, I'll tell you right now, ton of floor space in this boat, which is great. It really feels like you live a little dance party in here. Chad, you can experience that here in a little while.
Well, you mentioned in the back, and I know a lot of people's brain probably thought, well, you can't do both because you mentioned the foot control steering, but it's a pedal drive. So I'm just going to get this angle right here that shows that even with the pedal drive in it, you have ample room over on the side to have a foot control steering right here, but be out of the rotational arc of the pedal drive.
Correct. And the cleanest way to do that, and that install, like I said, it's coming soon, is just using the 90s from Yak Attack. Select designs.
Select designs.
Select designs
real.
Inside. You got the inside, right, and this is one of the nice things that we have done. This is proprietary to Jackson. It's called Tri-Track. So you've got gear track on 3 sides of it. So you can hang stuff on the top. You can hang it off the sides. If you want to mount your electronics right here and and run wires down the side. We do have wire clip accessories, so you can clip your wires right inside, make that a nice clean fit. You want to hang something over the side, you know, you don't want to use this particular, you know, sidewinder here. You can use something else and hang it over the side as well. So the options are pretty much unlimited. Now, there's like 12 feet of freaking gear track on this boat. If you need to add gear track on this boat, you need to probably go see a doctor. You may have issues.
Cool. All right. Let's keep on going back.
Obviously, what the heck is this for? Once again, this is another spot. If you've got the motor in the back, let's say you're running a Newport or you're running a Torpedo and you want a battery, you want to put the battery up front, you know, you can put it here, you can put it inside the hatch, whichever one you wanted to do. But we had the extra space, and we also have in front of the drive, underneath there is a huge freaking transducer scupper. Why? Side imaging transducers. Those things are big. I think some are compensating, but whatever. It is what it is. There's plenty of room to use to put those there. And you can just do a clean right out of the scupper, drill right into here. The boat does come with the Yak Attack through hole. Thank you. Losing my brain. So Yak Attack through holes to go anywhere in here you need to. And then the next piece, which is really the big piece, and it's going to come on all of our, you know, flex stripe boats moving forward, is the new Mark IV. We have gotten away from the prior version, and look, this is the key piece. Now I'll tell you, I've swapped the pedals out, you know, a little mountain bike mindset, pulled the spikes off one side, and just that way I can go barefoot on one or shoes on the other. But the key to this is bike technology. This is cycling technology. So when I say that, I mean, you know, Gates belt drive system. All right, smooth, reliable, and does not need to be, you know, it's internally, you know, lubricated, so no maintenance required on it, which is another huge deal. And this boat is fast. That's the other thing you'll see later when Chad gets you out on the water and let you see how quickly this pedal drive does move. I mean, most boats kind of have that one little speed where it's, you know, everybody kind of cruises at. You'll find that the speed this one cruises at is quite a bit faster.
Same configuration as the flex drive with the raising and lowering.
Correct. Everything is the same. In fact, if someone has an older boat and says, "Look, I don't want to get rid of my," let's say their big rig, they don't want to make the investment into this boat, but they want the drive, and they still want to stick with the new drive. We will have that available, you know, coming up in the next few months, so that people can actually buy the drive, the upper and the lower. They do have to come together. We've upgraded all the internals in the lower, and the prop actually turns in the opposite direction of the prior version. So if you wanted to try to mix and match, you could, but you're going to be pedaling backwards to go forwards. I just don't think you're going to want to do that. And this one is much more robust as well.
All right, so going to go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, okay?
Okay.
Jackson's had reliability issues with pedal drives in the past, okay?
Correct.
This thing looks substantially more... You know, and I'm kind of on the inside, so I know a lot about the history of it.
Right.
This was in works when I was paddling the Blue Sky, but it wasn't available yet. So talk to us about the development process of that drive and how much more reliable Jackson's projecting it to be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So we've done, you know, we've already dropped a few videos on this thing, and I'm not saying we didn't test the other ones thoroughly enough in the past, but let's just say we could have done a better job of it, to be honest. So at the end of the day, what do? We've put these things, you know, through the torture test with our toughest anglers. I used one as an example in saltwater, and I didn't rinse it off. I didn't rinse the upper or the lower off. And I'm like, well, why would I bother? The idea is to test it. We've tested these things for over a year.
Well, let me stop you just to give Jackson the benefit of the doubt, because I know what you said. You're like, we didn't test the other one thoroughly enough. I think that this drive benefits from the failure of the other drive. Absolutely. So that you then have a benchmark to go off of to test it harder. So I feel like Jackson probably tested the other drives as much as they thought they needed to, but knowing issues makes it that much easier to more substantially test a new product. Is that a fair way of saying that?
I mean, you know, you don't know what you don't know.
Right, exactly.
And you don't know what you don't know.
That's a better way of saying what I was trying to say.
Hindsight is, we wish we would have been able to test them more, right? Yeah. And we didn't. We didn't. I don't. You know, we own it. You know, we're kind of like, look, we probably
100%.
could have done a better job with it. And so what we did this time was like, look, let's go get guys that know how to do this. Let's go get some engineers from the cycling world that know how to make pedal systems work.
And
so,
then you put guys here that know how to break it, right?
Correct. And then like, okay, well, how do I not take care of it? And I think that at the end of the day, you just have to get into that mindset of, look, what would I wouldn't say the average consumer, what would just somebody that is like, look, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get on it, I'm going to abuse it, and I'm not going to rinse it off. I'm not going to make sure, there's not lines stuck all through the prop and all the other stuff. So we just continue to have that mindset with it and torture test it. And, look, anybody that knows of Josh Stewart, he is the biggest culprit, one of the biggest culprits in tearing stuff up.
No, the biggest.
Well, I was trying to be nice and fair, but Josh is that guy. And so, and I've talked to Josh multiple times over the course of the past year, and he just looks at me like, bro, I can't break it. And it's almost like a level of depression for him.
So this is Josh Stewart approved, is what you're saying?
This is Josh Stewart approved.
So Richard, since you're back here, I don't want to assume people know how the flex drive works. Mm-hmm. So since we're already still here on the drive, go ahead and demonstrate how the flex drive works, what makes it a flex drive, the whole concept.
So you've got your prop here, right? Let me get this off there. So right now it's in the upper position. It's in the upper stowed position. So when you've got in the upper stowed position, this hull, I don't think we can get it. We actually can't the way we got it sitting right now on the trailer. We'll have to do some different views for it. When we pull it off, we'll get that so you can add that in. But so right now this thing's up, and so it's inside the hull. Okay. Now when and of course it's stuck on the trailer. When you kick it up all the way, we have a dagger board down there, and it's got a flexible shaft inside. So when you're cruising up, whether it's you run across a log, you run up into the boat ramp, whatever you hit, or oyster beds. I mean, and Chad, you fish down,
Corpus Christi,
down in Corpus Christi, and if you're oyster bedding it, you go cruising in, boom, what happens? Well, if your drive's sticking down there, it's got anything protruding the hull, you're at an all stop, right? And then you're pulling your drive into the mess. With this one, you don't have to. This one kicks itself up. It's got actually a little shallow running deal right in the middle, right there. So you can actually run this thing in a little shallow area, or it just, like I said, kicks itself up. You get past the oyster bed, and you just drop that thing back down, and you go, which is fantastic. But that is it. That's a flexible shaft, and that's one of those things that we upgraded. Double ceramic bearings at the top now, and we've changed the shaft itself to a much more robust and one that's tested to withstand probably 3 times the force this drive's ever going to put on it. So once again, lessons learned, upgrades, and a lot of QA.
So you've talked about the drive now, you've talked about how it works, and then obviously another thing that's pretty cool about this is your actual rudder steering handles. You have one on both sides, but the seat's new. So talk about the seat. Talk about the seat.
At the end of the day, it was with the high-low seating, how to make it just simple and easy for the angler on the water, right? And so if you want in the low position, you're there, and one hand option to get it up down position. But stable, you can lean it back, do whatever you want to. It depends on how you like riding a bike, right? So some people like being really laid back in that recumbent style deal and want that seat further back and just scoot back and chill and relax. And other people like getting up and it's like they're on that BMX bike, right? They just want to jam on it. So you've got those options and you can do it. But yeah, new high-low seating, and it's really pretty simple. And that was the idea behind it. Let's don't overcomplicate it.
And the track is invisible because it's covered, but you do have the ability to adjust
Correct.
And slide the seat fore and aft to accommodate for
here.
Leg length, correct?
Correct. You have gear track on both sides, and you can slide that seat back.
There you go. Cool. All right, so coming on back, you got the tri-track here. You got another piece going across.
Yeah, another piece of tri-track here. So we've got the 3 rod stager here. So if you want to hold, got to do something. You've got rod tips going in there. Something in the back's got to, got to hang on to the rod butt. So we've got that here. It's adjustable. I did test this yesterday.
Phone fell. Sorry.
No worries. So it is adjustable. I did test this yesterday. Put rods in it. Is it going to continue to fall down? Because it's just tension there, and ironically, it doesn't fall down.
I think the weight of the rods probably put the
it does. It puts tension right back on it. Doesn't let it slide. And then if you're traveling, I can tell you may want to
bungee
them in. So there's your bungee. You've got bungee there. You got a little bungee here on the boat. That's the extent of the bungee cord you're going to see.
So talk to us about, all right, this box here that's mounted on the front side of this tri-track, and then we're gonna...
You want me to slip around?
No, we're good. I'll come around. We're good. So what is this dude right here all about?
So this dude right here is all about storage, right? And you can take, you can take it off the tri-track if you want to hang it off the side of the boat, inside the boat. If you're not storing rods on, one side, and you want that tackle box sitting up next to you, so you can put your pliers and your, your O-ring tool and all the other good stuff, you can do that. Inside the box, like I've just got some stuff tossed in here as needed. But let's just say, look, I don't care about that kind of stuff. It's not for me. Not a problem. You can actually pull the pins, take the lid off, and you can put two 3700 series boxes in here, standing up, and then you can just use this, strap across them to hold them down. So if you just want two 3700s right next to you, you can do that as well, or right behind you.
So you could also change that, do it up there,
correct,
off the side, back here, on the inside.
Absolutely.
Basically infinitely configurable and reconfigurable.
Correct.
Talk to me about what this dude right here is.
That dude right there. Well, one of the things we did when we released the Kraken was we had a bilge pump scupper, and it was a huge hit. For those that do stuff offshore, they wanted, they want live bait. Imagine that. So we felt like, look, this boat, while it's built for big water, both fresh and salt, it doesn't matter which one. Why not have the options for both? I mean, what if you want to go out crappie fishing and you want some live bait in the back and you still want that? It doesn't matter whether it's fresh or salt, right? So we already knew how to do it. Why not build this into this boat? So if you want to do the bilge pump scupper, you just pull these 4 screws out. You can configure it, install that right there into a bilge pump, into your bait tank in the back, and you're good.
All right, so we pretty much talked about the back here, storage for the battery when we did the front. You still got ample tank well for a black pack or other gearbox, JK crate.
I have a new black pack. I do have the Pro, the 13x16 fits here. I don't have the wink nod 16 by 16 yet to verify that it fits here, but measurements all indicate it will. And it's actually, with those new feet that are on it, that thing sticks. So it's not moving around and drifting around and making a lot of noise on the water. But yeah, so that one fits here without a problem. We've actually got some extra room back here with that as well.
All right, and so we already did the rear hatch, but finishing on out, got a power pole mount. Got a pretty substantial size rudder. What's the rudder authority like on this thing? Obviously, I'll experience it when I get it on the water, but
I think what you're going to find is this one may be the best turn radius in a damn near 14-foot boat you've ever seen. I mean, you look at the throw on the rudder right now.
Oh yeah, that's pretty wide. Let me get centered. Do it again. So they're centered and then go both directions. Oh yeah, that's pretty substantial. Cool. All right, Richard, any last minute, oh, by the ways, anything I overlooked, didn't ask about, we didn't talk about?
I think really at the end of the day, the biggest piece of it is getting it on the water. That for me was where, because it's easy to make this stuff look good, to be honest, right? How does it handle on the water? And for me, I think that's where my happiness factor came in, especially now we're sitting here in Guntersville and we're starting to get a little bit of chop. And one of the things I really like about this boat is it slices right through the water. And that's that Tony Lee hull design. Think like I always think a bit like the Kraken kind of meets the big rig. But it's just savvy in rougher stuff. And
okay,
that's what's really nice. 3
big things that these knuckleheads are going to ask. Okay? How much does it weigh? What does it cost? And when's it going to be available?
140 pounds.
Okay.
Weight. Cost $41.99 unless you want to be part of Team Red Boat. That's $42.99 for the limited edition. And when is it going to be available? They're shipping now. So this is a contact your local Jackson dealer.
So it's like en route to dealers now.
Like time me out.
Okay.
Like meow.
Now.
Meow.
Okay, perfect. $4,100 unless you want red, and you pay a red penalty. You
got
a red tax.
Yep.
You got the red tax.
Absolutely.
And 140 pounds weight.
140.
And then say the length and width one more time for me.
13 feet, 9 inches, 37 inches wide, 475 pound capacity.
Boom. Thanks, Richard.
Boom.
Appreciate it.
All right.